Today's video is going to be about lunar tides in the color Smoky Mauve. Let me turn that. So, I have my swatches labeled 1 through 12. 1 is like a light, kind of dusty blue. Number 2 is a light pink. 3 is a natural red. 4 is black. And then from 4 up through 11, we have a range that goes to platinum blonde. And then number 12 is a toned version of the platinum blonde. I will start the video by putting the dye directly from the container on the top of each swatch. And then some people do like to see dyes when they are diluted, so I will dilute the dye as we go down the strand, and I will let you know the measurements for that as we go. Quick side note, I just want to say that I cannot guarantee that how this dye turns out on my swatches is how it will turn out on your hair. Everybody's hair is different, which means everyone's hair will take dye differently. I do suggest that you just use this video as more of a reference point for what it could look like. This dye doesn't look like it's a super pigmented dye, so for the center we're going to do equal parts of diluter and the dye. There's music upstairs, so I hope you can't hear it, but for the ends we're going to do a mixture of a 1/2 teaspoon of diluter to a 1/4 teaspoon of dye. Alright, I'm gonna let these sit for like 3 hours. I will rinse them out, and then when they're dry, I will meet you back here. I feel like everyone's idea of mauve is different. I feel like this dye is pretty spot on what I consider to be mauve, and I like super love this, and I'm actually dyeing my hair with it right now. So it's not a super pigmented dye. It does kind of show up on number 8. Number 3 is similar in that it kind of does something, but I don't know if it would be enough for most people. My favorite swatch though, I would say, is number 1. The blue underneath really helped to bring out the purple in the dye. Just kind of want to compare. I don't know if you can tell on camera, because I know sometimes my camera doesn't pick up the like minute differences that I can see in person, but it is a little bit more purple looking. I have not done a dye like this yet, but I will look at dyes that are close just for reference. So the first dye I wanted to look at is Lime Crime in the color Pony. This is comparable to number 12. This is comparable to number 11, 10, and 9. I think Pony is a dye that is clearly meant for lighter hair because on number 11 and 12 you really get that true purple, but as the hair gets even just slightly darker, it does get a little bit more muted looking, which is why I wanted to compare it to this one because this one is a muted dye as it is. I would say it still pulls a little bit more purple, but I feel like both number 9s look very similar. This is comparable to number 2. The pink swatch for the Pony definitely held that purple look, whereas for the smoky mauve it kind of loses the purple and it just makes it, I don't know, it's really interesting. I mean, by itself, without this, it does look kind of purple, but it's such a muted, like, dusty color that it's kind of hard to pinpoint. It is a cool color, though, I will say, but that's probably because I like these colors. I did a mix video with Arctic Fox where I mixed together Ritual and Girls Night, so I wanted to compare that as well. So this is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, and number 9. So on the end here, it is mostly Girls Night with a little bit of Ritual. And I feel like that is what looks similar, so I'm just going to flip it. You can kind of see there. The Smoky Mauve looks a hair darker, but in terms of tone, I feel like it's very similar. In the middle is going to be a little bit more Ritual with the Girls Night. So this number 12 and number 9 are like the toned swatch. So I feel like that gray undertone is helping to make the end and the direct dye for these look similar. But since these ones have more of the yellow undertones, you can really see more of that red from the Ritual pulling through. Even on here, again, I don't know if my camera is picking up, but this looks slightly more red and this looks slightly more purple. But I think the diluted portions here look pretty similar. Alright, now that we finished comparisons, let's get into the close-ups. So I quickly wanted to just jump in and talk about my hair, since I did mention in the video that I've dyed my hair with this now. So the ends of my hair are bleached. The lightest pieces are probably like a number 10 from my swatches, and then they kind of go from 9 to 8 depending on the piece. So it's kind of interesting. In different lightings, this dye can look drastically different, and I actually have two pictures to show you guys. One is a like yellow toned lighting, and one is like a fluorescent bulb kind of lighting. And you can just see the difference. I do like it, I just wish it was a little bit more smoky looking, but I think that's just me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I do hope it helped. If you have a request, I do have a link in the description down below for a Google form that I made special just for requests. That just basically gets submitted directly to me, and then I organize my requests from there. But you can comment as well, that's totally fine. Thank you so very, very, very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.